Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, here in shambles once again, as I can never have good things ever. We will get to that later. Running a two-man weave tonight. I'm here with the mad producer, Podcast Poppy, in the building.
You win some, you lose some. And we move on. There's always next year. I don't like that Becky Hammond took a shot at us. It was like, oh, you don't build a super team in a couple months. It takes years. Fuck you. Fuck you. We move, though.
We move painfully. For those of us watching on YouTube, I am in shambles. The house is on fire. It has been a long week in sports once again. But we're here to recap it. We'll get to all the fun stuff. Football, drama in basketball.
Big drama show, as Triple G would say.
Some WNBA recap, and we've got fight predictions this week. It will be fun. I mean, we even can recap a fight too, if you want to call that farce.
Farce.
Farce of co-main event and a main event. We can even get into that. But first,
we get to Fight Talk, to Fight Club. We'll talk about Fight Club.
Let's get into, as James would say, foosball. Record-wise, the two best teams in the league lost. Both caught L's.
Yes, they did.
No good. Watching that live and saw him miss and was just like, oh.
What a nasty loss.
Side note, in a couple of my fantasy leagues, that is my kicker. And he had not missed a kick all season.
Nope.
Till he got to Cleveland.
I'll tell you what, if you guys listen to the Breno boys on Sunday nights, my brother predicted the best way to beat the San Francisco team, where you have to play very physical and you got to punch them in the mouth. He said that the Cowboys defense, this is like before like week one, he said that the Cowboys defense is more finesse and isn't built to punch a team in the mouth. This Browns defense is built to punch people in the mouth.
Yes, it is.
I saw Myles Garrett turn Trent Williams into a turnstile.
Yes.
I saw him just hip toss him and just get him the fuck out of his way. That is a grown ass man.
And frustrate Trent Williams.
That is the best left tackle in football.
And he was flabbergasted.
And that Browns defense kept them in the game. And that Browns defense was headhunting too. Because they took out McCaffrey, they took out Debo, and Brock was a little lost out there.
They took out Debo, and
that like ruined everything, because there was open plays where Ayuk just couldn't get the ball to Ayuk, who's wide open. He was missing throws. He couldn't hit the running backs in the flat. It's like he was just completely lost.
As I've said multiple times, the number one thing to kill a quarterback, if you mess up his timing, his clock, I don't care what quarterback it is. If you mess up their clock, they are going to look average. And Brock Purdy looked average.
He looked below average. Let's not just give him nice. He was terrible. He had under 100 yards until that last drive of the game. He was bad.
He was seeing ghosts.
That was the Brock Purdy I expected to see in the Cowboy game. Again, like, you lose Debo, you lose McCaffrey. Okay. You still have George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. And the run game was still working. Right? It was.
It was.
That's the thing. It was.
They weren't moving the ball, though. Like it wasn't.
The run. Everybody who ran the ball averaged more than 5.5 yards per carry. And like it was working. They just strayed away from it. Kyle Shanahan's play calling, like once they lost McCaffrey and Debo, was just like, I don't remember how to do this anymore. So if they stopped, like when they stopped running, they weren't running the ball enough because when they ran it, it was working. They couldn't figure out a way to hit the open guys. Like Brock Purdy was so frustrated that like the first read wasn't there, and he would have to rely on the secondary one, and he was just late.
Well,
Everything was late.
But he wasn't getting to that second read all the time because there was constant pressure on him.
But
I don't want to ignore the fact where he was not running for his life because he was running for his life.
I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm giving a lot of credit to Cleveland here.
To your point, he made some bad throws, but I'm not going to sit here and act like he wasn't running for his life. And I don't know what quarterback would have been able to do much with what he had to deal with. Now, obviously, he's not a great quarterback. So, like I said, you turn a great quarterback into a good or average quarterback with pressure. You turn a good or average quarterback with pressure to a below average quarterback. So all I saw is what I've been knowing and seeing. So he's just a good quarterback. He's not
usually
bad.
What you see when your quarterback is at his worst is usually kind of what he actually is, right? And it doesn't get hidden by things because Hurts had to deal with it too. And Hurts and Philly got punched in the mouth too. And you could see in what the performances are where both of these are both quarterbacks I've been very critical of, right? And then it's kind of, I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's great watching them struggle, but it's like you see more of what I see when you see them play bad. And then you can kind of see where the play calling, like once Kyle Shanahan lost control of play calling, that game was over. He forgot how to call football plays, which doesn't happen.
Again, he's supposed to be. So, and I hate to even do because it sounds like I'm making excuses for Brock because he did not play well.
I'm not even.
He lost. Like he lost C-Mac. He lost CMC. He lost Debo. Then his next greatest weapon, honestly, is his coach's great play calling, and he lost that too.
Well, let's not act like he doesn't have one of the top 2 tight ends in football that he just has not been really able to get the football to.
I'm about to say hot take. Is he? He may be outside the top 5 now.
Is he only outside the top 5 because he's not getting a lot of targets? Because he doesn't get a lot of targets.
You tell me. Why does he not get the targets? Is he not getting open?
Because he's not the first read. Like that system is very much so first read go. And then they usually have the protection for allow him to progress. And that first read is usually, okay, Debo's across the middle. He's not there. Cool. I'm just going to hit McCaffrey real quick. And he's got real comfortable with the security blanket of McCaffrey, where before it was, hey, Kittle is your security blanket. So I think Kittle's still very good. It's just, he's just not, they have so many weapons on that team that somebody's got to lose the targets. So I don't think Kittle's bad. Kittle's also awesome run blocking and pass blocking. So it's like, okay, you're going to use him in other ways to help you. That's where Shanahan has to realize, oh, wait, we have one of those like really good mismatches at tight end. I could use him. And like he didn't just have 3 catches against the Cowboys for a touchdown. Like he had a hat trick against the Cowboys. Like he's there. You just have to hit him. But
also, I don't think the Cowboys were guarding him. So
I also don't think the Browns have the people to guard him. But again, game plans changed. Game plans changed. Between Shanahan calling a bad game and Brock Purdy being just lost, it was not a good look for the Niners. Am I worried about the Niners? No. Because that's probably, besides them and Philly, the 2 best defenses he's going to play all year.
I mean, I'm
not worried about them. I still think they're the best team in football. They just got punched in the mouth by a very physical defense.
I'm not worried about them either. They lost on the road to a very good team, very good defense.
Well, they lost to a backup quarterback too, though.
I was just about to say, now they shouldn't have lost because that's still a backup quarterback. and their all-world defense that they did not play as good as they should have.
Amari
Yes, they held
Cooper
them
ball
to 19, but they did. The Niners, the Browns were getting yards when they needed to. They were getting yards.
Amari Cooper was balling on these dudes. The weakness of this Niners team is their secondary, because their front is so good that the secondary that's average gets a lot of time to work. And it's like they get to the quarterback so fast where the secondary just seems like it's locked down. But that Browns offensive line is good. That Browns offensive line is probably one of the 5 best lines in football. Besides like Philly, Detroit, San Fran, Cleveland, and then insert whoever the hell else you want to insert here. But that's one of the better offensive lines of football. And they were able to get protection on Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, Hargrave, Fred Warner. Like, they made this defense work for everything, but that defense didn't play as good as it should have. But Brock had a good last drive of the game.
Yes,
like,
he
Brock did everything he needed to do to drive that team down. The kicker just missed.
I would say he theoretically won the game. He did what he needed to do to get down there, put him in
the best drive. That's the best drive he had all game.
And it wasn't like it was like a 50-yard kick. Like that was a 40-yard.
That was a gimme.
Like,
that's a gimme.
That was a bad miss.
That's a kicker gimme. That's nothing you could like. The only thing they should have done is they should have repositioned.
That's maybe, if we want to nitpick, I will agree. If we want to nitpick and really play hindsight and Monday morning quarterback that Raz loves to do, maybe we could have did that. Maybe you could reposition the ball, but
this is a rookie kicker. This is a rookie kicker
that had missed a kick all year.
I feel like again, this is Monday morning quarterback. This is hindsight. I feel like if you have a rookie kicker, you'd want to put them in a position where it's more of a head-on kick. But again, that's us nitpicking the situation.
Yeah,
but everything that was supposed to be done on that drive was done.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
left,
if you would have looked at like the percentage of winning, the winning percentage the Niners had going in once they hit there was probably like 97%.
Yeah, had to be, because I mean, I thought the game was over.
I thought so too. I thought once they got there, because one, they refused to put the Jets on Fox until this game was over, so I had to watch it,
which was funny.
Which had me furious. But just to watch them miss it, I'm like, great. I'm glad they missed it because I had to watch this fucking game when the Jets are on. But no, it was a good game. It was a nasty game. Pretty wins. I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty.
You hate ugly wins. You hate them.
I don't hate ugly wins at all. No, I do not. I'll take what I can fucking get, because the Jets had an ugly win.
Yeah, we can move on to the Jets game. That was a Jet-like win as you gonna get. But they forced, 3 picks?
46. Hurts. 4-man rush over the middle. It's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Adams. Adams on the run. Breaking tackles. Tossed down inside the 10.
So that pick of the 3, that one.
That was the worst one.
So I thought the second one was the worst one. The second one,
the Bryce Hall one, the one that was tipped.
Yeah, so maybe it was the first one, not the tipped one, because I didn't think the tip. I don't know what else Jalen Hurts could do. That's just football.
Jermaine Johnson just hit his arm.
Yeah, like that's just football. Like that happens.
But like if we're talking about, so you could do that thing where you pick and choose the blame on the quarterback for what their interceptions were.
Which
I don't think the first two didn't. No, I'll play that game with you, right? So the first 2 interceptions I don't put on him.
The one that wasn't tipped, that's not it's not a great throw though.
Well, the thing is, the first interception was the screen pass to Dallas Goedert that Jermaine Johnson came and hit off his leg the second it hit there, and then Quinnen Williams caught the interception. You can't blame Jalen Hurts for that. You got to blame Goddard for not pulling that in. Obviously, you blame the quarterback for the interception because at the end of the day, it isn't an interception, right? But you blame Goddard for not being able to pull that ball in, or at least dropping it.
That one to me is on Goddard, but
that one's on Goddard. And then the next play, Jermaine Johnson, as Hurts is throwing, Jermaine Johnson hits the arm as he's throwing, and the ball was a wobbler, and Bryce Hall just caught it. who you could blame the right tackle because Lane Johnson went out in the first quarter. The backup right tackle got bullied all game.
I knew the Eagles were in trouble when he got hurt. When he got hurt, I was like, oh.
But Lane's been having a rough year all year.
But
So it's like he still needs the Hall of Famer there.
Exactly. That experience, that as soon as he went down, I went, uh-oh.
And the Jets went and they rotated their strongest guy on that side.
Everything went to that side because Saleh is a very good coach. Let me stop. He's a very good defensive coach. But I don't necessarily think that last pick is that horrible. I more so have a problem with the play call. Why are you being that aggressive on 3rd and 9 with a minute? Correct me if I'm wrong, the Jets had one timeout left, right?
We had no timeouts. We just had the 2-minute warning.
No timeouts. Yeah, it's so like that bothered me. I thought y'all had one timeout. So that makes it even worse because I thought y'all had one timeout, but it's 3rd and 9. They was at about the 30, almost the 45 yards. Yeah. Run the ball. Punt. You're telling me you're that scared of Zach Wilson driving down and getting a field goal with no time. I thought he had one, and I was still furious. The fact that they had none makes it worse. Because what do we do? Why would you put your quarterback in that position? I understand it's Jalen Hurts. I understand.
That's what I was just about to say.
You don't think he's going to throw a pick there, but you've already seen 2 fluky picks already in the game. You've already seen 2. You know that the Jets' strength is that front 7. You know this.
And that's without cornerback 1, cornerback 2, and cornerback 3 playing football this week. That's with Bryce Hall, who's our 4th string corner, and then 2 guys who just got elevated from the practice squad playing on the outside.
So, Dylan, if you know that the Jets are decimated in the secondary, what do you think the Jets are going to do to protect those dudes?
Oh, we're playing zone. They're playing zone. They didn't play man. They're just going to be holding the zone.
They're either going to play zone or they're going to blitz like hell because they need you to get the ball out quick. It's A or B.
The Jets blitzed more in the last 2 weeks than I've seen in the last 3 years because the Jets we're playing in positions where it's like, we're here. We're in the game. Where most of the time over the last couple of years where it's like, hey, we're not really in games. We're behind a little bit. We're going to have to throw a ton, play conservative. Don't just keep getting the score ran up. Now it's like, we're in this game. We're going to apply the pressure. We're going to bring it. And shout out to them for doing so. I think this pick was bad because Tony Adams put homeboy in a shell where he made the zone smaller than it needed to be. And then the second Hurts looked his way, he jumped the route.
Yeah,
Hurts got baited. That's why that interception's fucking terrible.
So that's what's said. Now I hate the play calling. That was a phenomenal defensive play.
Mm-hmm.
That was a phenomenal defensive play, and he deserves credit because you're right. He did bait Jalen right into that. He walked him right into it. Walked him right into that, and I hate it. It's a bad pick, but he should have never been in that position. I know maybe it sounds like Monday morning quarterback.
It is,
but live,
it made no sense.
It made no sense. Why are you throwing the ball? It does not make sense.
They were not doing a good job of running either. That say what you want. The Jets don't have a great run defense by design. Right? The Jets sell out the pass. They're aggressive for the play action.
They try to bait you into it. They try to bait you into it. But this game, they knew that might we don't have the corners. They're probably going to pass a lot. So the running game that they had going on didn't work. The only person who was able to run was Jalen on broken plays. And in the second half, kudos to Ulbrich, kudos to Saleh, everybody in the second half where Hurts wasn't able to do anything in the second half running wise. The Jets,
they are probably
masterfully coached game. That was,
and this is all year, right? The second half of Jets games, they've only allowed 1 touchdown in the second half, all
Yes,
year.
you gave me that stat, and I was mind blown by it. That's a great stat.
Even the
I-
Cowboys scored 12 points, 3 field goals. No, 4 field goals in the second
Great,
half.
great stat.
So it's
It
like
doesn't.
outside of the Cowboys game, the Jets defense was fantastic. It has been fantastic top to bottom. It's just the Cowboys game was they were on the field for 46 minutes. It's amazing what this defense looks like when you have drives that extend on offense and you give them a little bit of a rest. This is what a defense is supposed to be at its best. And that's without our best players playing, 2 of our best players playing on it. So like, that's where it's like, they should have taken more shots. Like AJ Brown had a fucking game.
Had a day.
He had a day, but Devontae Smith was in Alcatraz.
Horrible.
He was terrible. He had a couple nasty drops and just couldn't get open.
I was gonna get to that. I've seen, because obviously you watch the show, you listen to the show. You know I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. He did not play his best game, but his teammates did not help him. They did
he
not
easily
help
played
him.
the worst game of his career today or on Sunday.
No, he's played worse.
No, he hasn't. The only other game he's played that's just as bad as this one was against the Giants, where he threw 3 picks. That's the only other game he played where he was terrible like this.
He played out. So that's the 2 things can be true, because he did not play well. They did not help him. The line, like I said, once Lane went out and Saleh and them boys realized that side was weak, all bets
But
was
even
off.
still, like Jordan Mailata on the left side was getting cooked. And he's one of the best left tackles in football. Jason Kelce was getting cooked. They were just getting beat up, and this team should not have.
He had no time to do any. Again, I will say it again. If you disrupt a quarterback's clock, you will start to see them rush and make mistakes because they start to press and force, which Jalen did. Now, he also did make a couple nice plays with his legs because he's athletic and he could feel it and he could get out the way. He made a couple nice little juke moves, but it just I hated it. Like I said, he didn't play well. I'm not here to diminish this game. The Jets won that game. That was a great. That Saleh deserved to be as hyped up and pumping out his chest as much as he did. The post-game press conference was a little much for me, but Dylan loves it.
I love that shit because
Dylan loves it.
If you take a look at out of the 3 of the 5 best quarterbacks we played, and they played their worst games probably ever that they've had in their career. So it's like the Jets defense is fucking real. I think the biggest mistake Philly made was not trying to stop us from scoring. That was the biggest mistake they made. Where it was, they said they let us go and score. Breece Hall scored no problem. You think that was a good idea allowing us to put a touchdown on the board when you were not able to move the ball in the second half? Again, and then the play you decided you were going to go for on 4th and 8, instead of going for the first down, you went for the fuck it, I'm going to AJ Brown in double coverage.
Coaching.
That's just terrible.
They got out-coached.
Philly's another one of those teams where they have such a strong front. The only way you're going to beat them is by punching them in the mouth. The 2 best teams in football are the Eagles and the Niners, and it's the same type of thing. You have to be able to punch them in the mouth because they're going to try to punch you in the mouth. The difference is the Eagles line is good. They're older. We were able to send waves, and just beat them up constantly to where it's like, they're not getting tired because we're getting fresh legs. They're getting fresh legs at every 2 or 3 snaps. So it was incredibly frustrating. Listen to Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce, because Travis trying to blend in with the Philly sideline wearing all green on Sunday. I saw you, motherfucker. They were sitting there just like, yo, that defense is as advertised. And if they would have just tried to hold the Jets to the field goal and been a 1-point game, they just have to get in field goal position to win the game. Now it was the Jets scored and converted the 2-point conversion. So it's like,
but all of that, Dylan, I hear you and you're right. The fact remains, they had the ball with the lead and the Jets not having any timeouts under the 2-minute warning, and they decided to throw the ball. That is piss poor clock management.
Saleh has his issues with clock management too, but Sirianni just seemed like he was a little bit lost that game because their game plan usually is like run, throw some screens, deep shot. That's usually what that's literally all they do. If you take a look at every Philadelphia Eagle highlight, it's literally Jalen Hurts going deep. Like it's really going deep.
They're very aggressive.
Yeah, we're gonna run, we're gonna throw a screen, we're going deep.
When they throw, they throw.
Yeah. They don't really play that intermediate game. We're not going to hit you 10 yards in the middle like every once in a while.
And I mean, honestly, why should they? They have A.J. Brown. And
Devontae Smith. They got two Bugattis out there. But the fact that the Jets were able to take away that deep shot for most of the game.
It took away one of the Bugattis.
One Bugatti took himself out of the game. Like Devontae took himself out of the game. Something about that game had Devontae just not even involved. He was just gone. But the fact AJ had that game, he had one catch for like 35 yards. But outside of that, the deep ball wasn't there. With backup corners. That's why it's like
coaching.
I know Roz doesn't like to admit Saleh's a good coach sometimes. Meanwhile, I am a large fan of Saleh. I think Saleh does a great job with what he's doing. But
we all know you hate black quarterbacks. You must hate black coaches.
No. I hate half black quarterbacks. and I'm here for the Lebanese head coach. So I'm here for him. I support him when Raz won't. When we won a game we weren't supposed to win. When you win a game like that, and you compete in that Chiefs game, there's not a game left in the schedule that I don't think we can compete in because you have a win like that against Philly. That's arguably the best team that we had left besides Miami.
That was your Super Bowl. It very much so gave me Jet Super Bowl vibes.
That's one of those things where it's like, if they take this in stride and they don't let this get to their head and they come out.
Will, because the coach already did 5 minutes after the game.
What he stated a fact. He stated a fact.
But
if they go out there and they're like, we're not
right
we're not gonna sit there and we're gonna puff our chest out a little bit, we just beat Philly, but then it's like, hey, reel it in. We still have to play football. If they do that and they come in with that mentality and they work during this bye week and they go into New York, are going against the Giants and put on a similar performance.
Giants Stadium.
It's not Giants Stadium. It's JetLife Stadium. But
Giants Stadium
until the Giants have more wins than the Jets, it's going to be JetLife Stadium. And again, the strength of this Jets defense is the weakest part possible for this Giants offense.
I am not going to lie to you. I don't know what I'm walking into for this game.
It could be a bloodbath.
It could be the Jets roll the Giants. It could be the Giants stealing like a ridiculous fourth quarter comeback because the fourth quarter Giants opposed to the 1 through 3 quarter Giants are two different teams.
The Tyrod Taylor led Giants.
Well, the Giants have been doing this in the fourth quarter all season, except for for a couple games. But like in the fourth quarter, they just turn into
the Giants is if they decide to just play Tyrod Taylor the rest of the year. That would be the best thing if they did that.
I've always been a Tyrod fan.
I also been a Tyrod guy, and Dable is also a Tyrod guy. But that offense, even with the offensive line being in flux, played better with Tyrod.
It played much better with Tyrod, and the Giants got robbed. But it's hard.
I also hate that play call. That was a shitty play call.
It's hard to get worked up when, again, the horrible clock management. You saw it in the chat in live time. I almost lost my mind because I don't know again. I just said it 5 minutes ago. Why would you put your quarterback in that position? I don't understand it, and I knew something bad was going to happen when I saw Tyrod start checking. When I saw him start doing the audibles, I knew something bad was about to happen because it looked like he was calling a run. We all thought Chris Collinsworth was like, is he checking to a run? Is he checking? They ran it. Oh, no.
How do you feel about Dable like actively being like screaming on the sidelines at the quarterbacks over these last few weeks?
The fan in me loves it. The fan in me absolutely loves it. Loves the passion. When you take a step back, it's not a good look. It's not a good look because what did I just say? That was bad coaching. You make sure your offensive coordinator knows that we're not running the ball.
He's the one who calls the plays, though.
Dable calls the plays?
Yeah, Dable's the play caller.
Then I absolutely hate him yelling at Tyrod like that then. Hate it. Because why would you give him the option?
Well, so in most of those situations, they always have an option, right? So when you have an experienced quarterback who's used to doing that stuff, like Rodgers explained it really well once. He was like, when I was in Green Bay, they would always give me 2 play calls. Always give me 2 play calls, and then I would read the defense and I would check. And I'll check to it. Tyrod did the same thing. The problem is he just misread it. Where Dable probably should have made it like incredibly clear, like you don't check out of this unless you see something in particular. And I guess he thought he saw that thing. And he checked to the run. I don't think it's showing anybody up. I saw somebody on Twitter. I posted in our chat on yesterday. I was like, I don't see it as showing up your players because that's just coaching, right? And you've had multiple times in this season where the quarterback is the one making the mistake. Like you're making the mistake, and then he's just like, why are you making such a bad mistake? Like that pick 6 Daniel Jones threw against Seattle. That was a horrible interception because the running back was open on the right at the line of scrimmage for the check down, and he forced that and got pick 6. Like pissed off about that. Tyrod shouldn't have checked out. He probably should have done the best, like went with the original play call there. I don't know what he saw. I don't like going under the center at the 1 yard line. That screams run, or we have to wait for play action to develop and you're going to get killed on the boot. So like, why are we doing it? So just bad play calling all around. And that he needs to do a better job of communicating. I love that the whole like, oh, Brian Dable's a great coach thing from Roz has kind of gone away once the Giants aren't winning games. I'm not saying Dable's not a good coach, but questionable.
Romance has questionable what?
No, questionable like coaching methods and play calling recently for Dable. I'm not saying he's a bad coach at all. No, I like Brian Dable.
I was about to say,
I hope the Maras don't do that thing they do every 2 years and fire him because they're underperforming.
Well, I told you after was it the Dolphin game where New York Sports Radio, where fans were calling in saying he should be on the hot seat, and my brain was ready to explode because you know how I feel about New York sports fans overreacting. It drives me insane. And the man was just coaching. You thought this team, not you, Dylan. You thought this team was going to be abysmal last year, top 5 pick bad. They made the playoffs and won a game. Had New York City going nuts before they lost to the Eagles.
It just so happens it was just a year later. Because all last year I was trying to tell you guys how this Giants team really wasn't that good. And then like now we're seeing it because they went and they're like, you know, we were that good. Let's not really change anything about this team. They decided to run it back.
Add another log to the fire behind me is the Astros and them damn orange jerseys just won. So it's now 2-1 in the ALCS.
But yeah, I tried telling you all about this Giants team last year because every time the Giants played like a good team during the year, they got obliterated. And then when they got to the playoffs, they faced another team that I said wasn't that good last year, the Vikings, and beat the shit out of them. So, and then when they played Philly, got dog walked. Now it's just the year I thought they were going to have last year, they're having this year. And I'm not going to, I don't even really know how to say this without sounding like an asshole, but it's like the Giants ownership and general management and all that stuff really like made Giants fans believe this team was much better than it is. And that stinks.
I
because
I
the
thought they were a
offensive line
9-win
needed to get addressed last year.
and it didn't.
And it did not. They were like, this team is good enough to do it, to run it back. And then you pay Daniel Jones instead of working to get Saquon a real contract.
It's Saquon off.
Huh?
I said they pissed Saquon off.
They pissed Saquon off, and now they waited for the running back market to get restructured and like all that stuff. So now the Giants are going to have to figure out a way to get Saquon the money next year. And that's probably going to be involving trading one like Leonard Williams or something in order to clear up that cap space to do so. And you don't really want to do that.
And still address the line, because the line is putrid. Daniel Jones is running for his life. Tyrod was a little bit better.
Tyrod didn't give the ball away though.
He did not.
That's where, like, even on interception, I'm talking about like fumbles. Tyrod didn't fumble, and Tyrod was doing a really good job of feeling the pressure before it got there to move. Daniel Jones waits a little bit too long sometimes and then goes. And I'm not saying he's a bad runner, because he is a good runner. It's just sometimes his spidey senses don't click on the right time, and then he just gets killed and just drops the ball.
The worst thing for Daniel Jones was that the Giants' offense looked like a semi-professional offense. We had a Slayton sighting and we had a Darren Waller sighting, which both of them have just been MIA with Daniel Jones at quarterback. And the moment Tyrod gets there, those guys look like the guys we thought we were getting. And the reason we thought, hey, this Giant offense might could do something, because they kind of got some weapons.
I was of the belief when the Giants signed Tyrod that Tyrod was going to take Daniel Jones' job.
I can't give you that. You didn't say it on the pod.
I didn't. No. This is. I said this in like my brother and I's like separate group chat, where I was like, me and Steven were sitting there like, Tyrod's coming in here to take this job. It's just Daniel Jones had a good year last year, and that wasn't really expected. Like, that wasn't expected, I don't think, by anybody. To be fair, we thought the year he's having this year would have been last year. So like that got Daniel Jones paid. The worst thing in my eyes, the worst thing you could do is pay a quarterback based off of 1 year. When you have multiple years before to show you that quarterback hasn't progressed or really isn't progressing, that 1 year could be a fluke. And obviously the season's still going, and he's got a neck injury because that offensive line hates him. But it looks more and more like last year was a fluke because of the strength of schedule than anything right now. So I think the Commanders game is going to be hard because the strength of that Commanders team is the weakness of the Giants in the trenches. And Evan Neal is just Stevie Wonder at right tackle, where he just doesn't see anything. So I don't know. I would like to see the Giants put up a fight there, but it's hard for me to believe if they play any of these teams with the strong fronts that like it's nothing but bad things is going to happen. And Daniel Jones is going to like die back there.
He almost died.
And if he doesn't die by Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, he will definitely die by Jermaine, Bryce, Quinnen, Al, like the 10 guys the Jets are going to throw at him. Because we saw in the preseason with their backup line, because none of the offensive line starters for the Giants played that game, but all of their backups played. But most of their backups are playing now anyway, because the Giants' offensive line keeps dropping like flies. Definitely. And I think you have a third string left tackle playing because Billy Turner's also hurt. So, and they were bullying Billy Turner, who's the backup left tackle in the preseason. Tyrod was getting killed. So I'd be worried for these next couple weeks if I'm a Giants fan, because you got two defenses that want to like punch, and see if you can punch them back. So that's a scary, scary thought for Giant fans, because you got to feel for Daniel Jones' safety, especially with the neck injury, which he says he's fine, by the way. So we'll see.
That's because he saw Tyrod play. And he said, uh-oh. He said, uh-oh.
Yeah, my neck is all right.
I'm all right, coach. Put me in.
Over-under on fumbles for Daniel Jones on Sunday. 1.5. Are you taking the over or the under?
Okay.
You're taking the under.
You want to put Gatorade on that?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to put 2 fumbles? All right, that's now because I live ladies and gentlemen, I live in a pod with Dylan and Anthony where you literally have to spell out every single word.
I heard you said. So are we doing fumbles or fumbles recovered?
Lost. That's okay. Why I'm doing this.
I was just doing fumbles total.
Fumbles total.
Total fumbles.
Where's the game? In New York or in Washington?
Let's see. I have a million tabs open for this fucking show.
Because why Washington has the worst field in football.
Oh no, MetLife is right up there, man. Where? It's in MetLife. Do you want to do fumbles or do you want to do turnovers total?
Oh, 1.5 turnovers? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you want to move that to, I might do 2.5. If you want to give me the under on 2.5, I might. Give me by the end of the show, I might lean.
Let's revisit at the end of the show. Let's revisit at the end of the show.
Maybe.
Or do I want to save this bet for the Jet game?
I mean, I'm already going to be invested.
I think I'll save this bet for the Jet game, where we both have stakes to be invested in.
Okay.
I think that's the smart move here, and then next week we'll revisit.
I need to see how the Giants play before, spoiler, because Roz is not here. So I need to see how the Giants play before I decide if I want to bait Roz into a wheel spin for this game.
Because, fun fact, the Jets don't score, but the Giants score less.
And I still believe the Giants could score enough to win. I still think the Giants could score just enough to win that game. But like I said, let me see how they look this week. And then maybe I'll try to bait Roz. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try to bait Roz next week. Me and Roz are going to this Jets-Giants game. I will be the Giant representative of the fans.
Because the Titans stink. So we got to go somewhere else. How do you feel about the Titans trying to trade Derrick Henry right now?
I saw that report earlier. I don't. It's gonna have to. I'm gonna be.
And it wasn't just reported by just like random Twitter things. It was reported by CBS too, that they're trying to find suitors. That sucks.
But the only reason I'm not going crazy about that is because I've seen everybody's getting traded in the NFL. Apparently, the NFL has just turned into the NBA this season because everybody's getting traded. So, let's see.
Not the engine of a team.
But I mean, I've seen like a ridiculous amount of this guy's getting traded, that guy's getting traded. I've never seen all these potential trades in the NFL, so I need to see it.
If the Titans trade Derrick Henry, then it's over. If Vrabel's getting fired, Byard's off the team. The only person that's be left on the team next year who's currently under contracts would be Jeffrey Simmons. Everybody else is gonna be gone. You're gonna have a whole new coaching staff. It's a coup live. You said it. You said that. When I was pointing out, I was like, yo, your offensive coordinators get fired. Like, he's actively trying to, like, fuck this team over. It's a live coup, and it's bad. Your OC is a plant by the GM. He's a plant. Because the Titans offense, fun fact, also don't really score.
That's crazy. We kick a lot of field goals.
Because you guys got away from Titans football.
Again, Vrabel doesn't call the plays.
But Vrabel should be smacking around his offensive coordinator. Sometimes you got to bully people to get what you want.
It's extremely frustrating because our defense is playing its ass off, and it's driving me crazy that I just cannot have a world where I have both things good. I just can't have both things good. I just can't, because the defense is
not good.
Tannehill's gotten old, and he has jumped off the cliff.
This is the Tannehill that I watched in Miami.
He has jumped off the cliff. And to add, this is the Miami Tannehill, because to make matters worse, not only is he old, he got hurt again. He got hurt. And
your offensive line stinks.
Our offensive line is beat up, but he got hurt, and in trots Malik, and lo and behold, Malik still can't throw the ball for 5
Malik had
yards.
a hell of a drive, though. I could tell that's the offense your team wants to run. Your team wants to run an offense where you can have a running back out wide. And I'm like, man, that sucks. That sucks, because that's not Titans football. That is not Titans football. They want to run shotgun, running backs out wide, put them in motion behind the quarterback, dump off on into the flat, go hit DeAndre Hopkins deep, fuck play action, fuck establishing the run. We want to be able to be a high octane passing attack, passing the ball 40 fucking times a game, run the ball maybe 15 to 20 with multiple running backs, have the running backs get a bunch of targets in the game, like move the football, move the chains, take a shot. That's what your offense wants to be. And it seemed like Malik does do a great job throwing the ball. He threw a couple shitty balls, but like the way the offense was moving, you could tell that's like what the OC has planned to do.
Let me give you my Sunday morning. My alarm went off 9:45 because I knew they were in London, and I know they do a lot of extra stuff before the game actually starts. I was tired, so I hit the snooze button. I woke up about 10:45 when I was up. Brain is functioning. Realized, it's 10:45. I kind of overslept. You know what we all do in these day and ages, Dylan. We all have alerts on our phone. We all have alerts. I wonder what the Titans are doing. Let me see what's happening, how my boys are doing. I look at my phone. I instantly turned the phone back down and said, not watching this. Obviously, I waited 5 minutes and then turned it on and promptly saw Ryan Tannehill get injured. So within minutes of me watching the game, I saw Tannehill taken right on out of there. I saw Malik come in the game, and I was like, our season's over. And if you notice, Dylan, even though I don't, I was very quiet during that entire game.
You were, but you're usually quiet during Titans games regardless.
I am quiet, but I was just I wasn't feeling it.
And I've tried to be nice to you these last couple Titans games too. I'm not sitting there immediately talking shit to you. I've been feeling for you because I know you wouldn't do the same to me. So I'm being nice to you after these games.
I have not been trolling y'all after your games. I didn't even say anything after the Cowboys.
The last 2 weeks we've won, so it's hard to troll us.
But the Cowboys game, I didn't say.
Well, me and Roz were at each other's throats that game.
You two have been 3 weeks. Jet talk is just ungodly. Y'all have moved into literally play by play during the game, which, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot make this up. There had to be over 1,000 messages on Sunday between Roz and Dylan. I'm not making that number up. Literally 1,000 messages between them, between the course of the game and World War III breaking out in our group chat. which we will not get into in detail. But it's tough.
All I'll
So
say
much
is
so-
Roz needs to stop praying for losses. That's all I'll say. Stop putting losses in the world when there's still time on the clock.
Roz definitely proclaimed the game over when it wasn't over.
And then
That is
the very next play, interception. And then the very next play, touchdown.
And Roz promptly brought the pom-poms out, which infuriated you like it infuriates me. And I must say,
He put the Jets in a hearse and tried to bring them to the fucking morgue. Meanwhile, the Jets popped out of the coffin like a fucking zombie.
I tried to not do this when he does this with the Yankees. I try. As you know, Dylan, he has baited me multiple times. I think this is probably the most you see me get angry is when I'm arguing with him about the Yankees. Probably the most angry I get. But now I know over the last 3 weeks that you understand because it's literally like I'm outside of my body just watching you as me saying the exact same things to him that I say. The only problem is we don't have anybody to do this during basketball season where me and you just troll him. Like the night last year, remember when the Lakers were up 20-something and he was screaming in the chat about missed layups and LeBron not hustling.
And not be able to play D'Angelo Russell while they're up 20.
20. They cut it down to, I think, like 13. And he was like, that's it. Here they come. We're about to lose. Like, this game is over. There's 5 minutes left in the game. This game is done. I don't even think it was 5 minutes left. It's an emotional. He loves misery. I've said it for as long as I've done. He loves misery. Just wants to be that New York sport. And I blame the Jets. I blame the Jets for doing this to him. All he knows is misery. He doesn't know how to react to good things. He doesn't know how to.
No, he overreacts to good things.
Yes, that is
there's
typical
no
Jets.
there's no middle of the road, right? There's no like it's either black or white. There's no gray in this where it's like with me with good things, I can handle good things, right? We got Rodgers and he said, "Enjoy the ride, Dylan. Enjoy the ride." Meanwhile, I've tempered all expectations, and I'm just like,
you tempered them to a fault.
Yeah,
because he was Super Bowl or bust. You wasn't willing to get on that train, even though I tried to bait you into that Super Bowl or bust.
I know better.
But by time Hard Knocks had got through with you, yeah, you had 1 foot on the train. You wasn't on it, but you was looking in there, seeing if there was cookies.
I was peeking in to see if there was any seats.
Seeing what's going on in there.
I was peeking in to see who's on the train.
What's happening in here?
Because when you get invited somewhere, the first answer yes or no, you ask who gonna be there. So I was invited to the train, and I was invited to see who was there.
And then 4 plays into the season, and the funny thing is, you two went the exact opposite again. Roz proclaimed the season. You remember, Roz said the season was over. Y'all need to tank. He said the Jets would get the number 1 pick. I remember that because I remember telling him, and I was wrong. I will sit here in a minute. I will, because I said the Texans and the Cardinals are the worst teams in football, and
Texans have a top 10 quarterback.
neither one of them are the worst team in football. Actually, the Cardinals are not the worst team in football.
I think the Cardinals are the best fakers ever. I think they're really good at being fake competitive, but we'll get there.
They are the Lions from 2 years ago.
They're sticking around in games, but they're not trying to win. They're trying to fool Caleb into thinking they're competitive.
I disagree. I don't think that they're not trying to win. I think they really are trying. They don't understand that they're still not.
Somebody
good.
needs to tell them that they can't win.
They're not good. They're trying so hard. If we just try our best, we'll do it. You're not good enough.
Too bad their coach isn't like likable. If they had Motor City Dan Campbell, we might be all on the Cardinals train.
Let me point out, because me and my girlfriend both mentioned this when we saw the Cardinals. Those all white joints,
Fire.
Woohoo!
Fire.
We both was like, oh, those are nice. She looked at the screen and said, oh, those are nice jerseys. And I was like, yeah, it's all white, but like it was just something clean about it. So clean.
All right, back to the point at hand. Roz was first overall pick of the draft, yada yada yada.
Yes. And you were not jumping off. You've come around, and you haven't come around. You still think Zach stinks, but
I think Zach's better.
You very much was in a wait and see. You wasn't ready to proclaim the season over, but you was in a wait and see.
My point then and still is, there's no way we're going to have one of these top picks because the defense is going to keep us in these fucking games.
I also said that.
The defense is too good to lose.
What you're seeing, but this defense is just too good for you. The defense can win a couple of games.
The defense is going to fuck around and win us enough games where it's like, if Zach keeps taking these little steps that he's taking, he's going to fuck around and throw some touchdowns. And you really only need to score, like, ideally, you only really need to score 20.
21.
You really only need to score 20 or 21 to secure the game. You can win games with 17.
Outside of the Cowboy game, I think 21 wins every game, right?
Every single game we play.
Even the Cowboys. How much the Cowboys score?
The Cowboys scored 30.
Yeah, I would say outside the Cowboys game.
Outside the Cowboys game,
I would say 21 wins every game.
We're 5-1.
And Lord, I am so happy that that's not a thing, because
if we would have went 5-1 without Aaron Rodgers,
I don't even want to be. I wouldn't even show up. But
like, people were predicting the Jets to be 3-3 with Rodgers at this point.
Yeah, I was one of them.
This was the best case scenario. This is best case scenario, because then the back half schedule gets a lot easier. The Jets' strength of win apparently is one of the three highest in football compared to the strength of schedule. Like, the Dolphins' strength of win is like at 30%, where they're just beating up on like bad teams. They haven't faced their good teams yet, outside of like the Bills. But the Jets, where it's like, oh, you have the Chiefs, you have the Bills, you have the fucking, besides the Patriots and the Broncos, but it's like you beat the fucking Eagles. So it's like those 3 wins where it's like, okay, and then you competed in the Chiefs game. So it's like, all right, well, you played some tough teams. Everything gets a little bit easier. The Dolphins still have the whole NFC East to play besides the Giants.
I can't wait to see y'all play the Dolphins.
I like our chances.
I can't wait.
I like our chances. I don't think they're going to score fucking 40.
Tyreek does not like your team.
Tyreek also doesn't like Sauce Gardner, because Sauce Gardner put him in the fucking straitjacket last year.
Tyreek does not like y'all, and he is on one right now.
He was on one when we faced him last year too.
Not like this though.
No, it's exactly like this. He was. Remember, before he got hurt last year, he was on pace for this same shit.
He was not on pace for 2,500 yards last year.
I think when we played,
he might have been on pace for 2, but
still, that's 2,000 yards by the time you play them by like week 13.
But y'all played him.
We played him like week 7 last year.
I would say I thought y'all played like week 7, week 8.
We played in week 7, week 8 when he already broke 1,000.
Dylan, we're in game 6. He's already broke 1,000.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We got him the same. Tyreek's doing the same thing, just a little bit better. But the thing is, the Dolphins are kind of the same thing, like I was saying about the Eagles and all these guys, where it's like you punch them in the mouth, you make them second guess themselves. They've only been punched in the mouth once, because it's the only team really like that played good defense on them. So you have to score in that game. We have to keep them.
I have the Jets schedule. So 21 would win every game. Denver scored exactly 21. But
we already scored more than that at that point.
So 21 would have won every game except the Dallas game.
Yep.
So you would be 5-1. Your remaining schedule, you're on the bye week now, so thankfully we won't have Jet talk.
Giants, Chargers, Raiders.
Giants, Chargers, Raiders. I mean, I could get 2 of those. You know
Would it
how I
surprise
feel.
you if we got 3?
No, because I hate the Chargers.
You hate the Chargers, but like based on like the fact that we were able to beat Philly, right? LA is not as good as Philly.
That
and it's the
doesn't mean
same
that
thing.
y'all are gonna. That doesn't mean that y'all are just gonna beat every
No.
team
I'm just saying
now.
we're competitive. We're competitive. We're gonna be competitive with every team. That's the thing. Where it's like
You gotta look at matchups. I don't.
if you look at the
The
matchups,
Char-
we match up against
the
LA
Ch-
too.
The Chargers are so weird because like there's so much talent, but their coach is so awful.
So bad.
And their quarterback is just not. He's not that guy. You should
I'm not
beat the
gonna argue
Raiders. You should beat the Raiders. The Raiders are
We
not
should
going to
fucking beat the dog shit out of the Raiders.
no matter what Anthony thinks. That's why he won't bet you because he knows.
Don't worry, we got one though.
What-
I got a wheel spin on that. Where if
On the
the
game?
Raiders lose, he spins the wheel. If the Raiders win, I got to pay him like $40.
Okay.
So I got something on that.
Buffalo is going to be waiting for you at the door.
Buffalo is probably going to beat us, but
Buffalo's going to be waiting.
we always
for you
play
at the
Buffalo
door.
very close. We always play Buffalo very close. So
And
I'd
then
like to see
you
that.
and then y'all play on Black Friday against Miami, which is interesting. But there's Miami. Atlanta, I don't think that quarterback's ready. Houston
is one of those teams where I'm looking forward to that game because I don't know when they haven't really faced a good defense yet. I know if they played one good defense and they shit on Pittsburgh, where Pittsburgh's defense is like pick and choose when they want to be good. I think it was Baltimore. Was it Baltimore they played?
Wait,
I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up while you keep doing what you're doing. I don't know why this is doing this.
Get anything to drop. I mean, Pennsylvania State, they did well, but we wanted to.
So Baltimore's the best defense they played. They only allowed 9 points in that game. And the second best defense they played is Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh, again, sometimes shows up, sometimes doesn't.
don't know what you're going to get.
You have no idea what you're going to get with them. So by the time they get to us, the best defense they'll have played will be Tampa.
Shell shocked.
So that's where it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like I think that's going to be a very good game. And I think that's going to be one of those games where we're going to see how good CJ Stroud is, because right now I think CJ Stroud is a top 10 quarterback in football, hands down. There's no way anybody could tell me otherwise. What I see, and then when you look at those numbers, find me 10 other quarterbacks better than him.
I was hoping we did rookie of the year picks because who did I say was the best?
I didn't think it was going to be a quarterback. No,
But
you're correct. I'll give that to you.
I'm
I'm not gonna keep anything away from you.
That is my man.
I
20
didn't think
grand.
any of these quarterbacks were going to be rookie of the year. Texans. When I was talking to, so again, if you listen to Sundays, me and my brother, when we were going through these rosters before the season starts, like we always do, we completely overlooked how good this Houston Texans defense is.
I also overlooked how good this defense.
They have some players on that defense.
Their defense is better than I thought, and they have a defensive coach, so it enhances it. And their offense, I don't care. He's still making magic because I still don't think they have players on offense.
They have a good
really
offensive
don't.
line, but
I really don't think
he's
still players
making
are good.
like I don't think the receivers are good. If they were going to be bad, I'd be like, oh, I can't wait for them to go get Marv out of Ohio State to pair CJ with him again. but like they're like a legitimate wide receiver away from competing as like a team that could win that division.
Because Jacksonville's not very good.
Jacksonville's good. Jacksonville's very good. It's the Titans that aren't very good.
Well, but we're still not the worst team in the division. The Colts are the worst team in the division. Colts are the worst.
Well, because their quarterback's out for the year now. Because I think
and Dylan, who would have thought that he would get hurt playing the way he did? Oh,
both of us.
That was me and you, right? That was me and you that said he can't play like that.
He can't keep playing like this. He's going to end up like Cam Newton, but much earlier.
I would say it's much worse because it's moving much faster.
Much faster. And you can't do that. Like, you got to protect yourself, Anthony Richardson. You have to protect yourself.
You were bigger than everybody in college. You're not bigger than everybody in the NFL.
These guys are older, stronger,
smart,
like faster. Like, everything about the NFL is not what you are used to in the SEC. It's close. Not very close, but it's kind of close. But these linebackers that you're trying to run over, these defensive ends that you're trying to run over, these guys are 6'5", 300 pounds.
And fat, just as fast as you.
And just as fast as you. You may be a unique talent based on your skill set and your physical makeup, but all of these defensive players are fucking freaks. All of them are freaks. Micah Parsons ran like a damn near 4.2. Like, that man damn near ran a 4.240.
He's the ultimate one. But yes, I know what you're saying, and you're right. Shout out to Micah Parsons for absolutely obliterating their offensive line in the fourth quarter.
He played a hell of a, in clutch time. He came up big. Dan, what's his face?
Team's a thing.
Dan Quinn called a hell of a defensive game at the end of that game.
he did. You know what he did? Micah, go.
Well, Micah was having a hard time really getting to him all game. He decided, I'm pinning my ears back. I'm blitzing, and we're going to let our guys work. And it worked because the Chargers don't have speed. The Chargers do not have speed in their wide receiving core. So it's going to be very hard to beat that without the speed you need.
And they also have a quarterback that's not that guy.
Nah, he's got a lot against him. Like,
he's not that guy.
My brother will tell you flat out that he knows what Wonder Boy's calling every time. And surely enough, he called stick routes. That's all Wonder Boy calls is sticks. And what was the play that was called? Sticks. So it's like the Cowboys know. The Cowboys know what his go-to is. And Brandon Staley's stupid. So it's like Justin Herbert's got a lot going against him. He came in as a B+ A- quarterback, and I think Nick Wright said this best. He said he came in as a B+ A- quarterback, and he stayed there. He hasn't progressed because the coaching has been so bad.
He is a B- quarterback.
It sucks because he should be taking a step, but again, he's going to go into year 5 next year.
He's not that guy.
And he's going to probably have a new offensive coordinator again. And he's just going to win games based off of pure talent.
He can't even do that. He can't even do that because he's
against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a good team. And they came fast as well. So it's like, all right, he really didn't have time on those last 2 plays. He was getting killed.
Not that guy. Hey, that's all I'm going to say. He's not that guy.
He's not that guy, but he's better than any guy that is on the Titans. When do you think we see a Will Levis sighting this year?
Yes, because Malik is not going to last.
Because, man.
I'm already off the Malik train, so I jumped off of that after the Kansas City game. I jumped off. So, yeah, we will see him because I don't know how long Tannehill's going to be out. Ankle sprain, high ankle sprain.
It's the same ankle as last year.
They're tricky. So
high ankle sprain's got to be a couple weeks, but he's the bye week as well.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So I don't know, but Malik is not it. So maybe he'll prove me wrong. Like you said, he didn't play god awful. He just played bad. So
who you guys got after the bye?
I don't. disgusting. I usually go 2-week intervals with Tennessee. So I know we have a bye. Actually, I do know who we're playing. I'm lying.
Atlanta.
Yeah, because we're playing Darius. That's Darius's favorite team. That's how I know. But yeah,
Who
we can
knows?
beat
Arthur
Atlanta.
Smith's going to try to fuck that game up.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, we could beat Atlanta. So
Just run the football.
but we don't run the football.
You don't run the football anymore. Trying to get rid of your Hulk. Oh well.
See Tennessee. I mean, we're home, so
We got a
that
couple
helps.
tough games in a row.
Yeah, we have the Steelers after that, and like you said, they're Jekyll and Hyde. So who knows? And
Their
then,
defense shows up and it's like unbelievable, and then their defense just doesn't do anything.
Jacksonville and the Panthers. We have to beat the Panthers, and we should beat the Colts the second time around.
Who knows? Gardner Minshew beat the shit out of you guys last time.
He didn't beat us. It was the running back.
They played Tennessee Titans football.
And how it worked, right? Amazing how
They taught you guys how it works, and you guys still don't do it. Just gaslighting you at this point.
I was calling them Tennessee Light. Remember, they want to be us so bad.
Well, when they have a running back that is like really fucking good, you use your running back. Me and Steven have this theme on Sundays when we review games when teams win. It's the theme of the week is always get your guys the fucking football. Great things happen when you get your guys the football. Great things didn't happen for Tennessee because they didn't get their guy the football. Every team has a guy. And if you get that guy the football, good things happen. Every team that won got their guys the football.
We don't get our guy the football.
You don't get your guy the football. The Jets are trying to figure out how to get their guys the football. Like Breece Hall gets it, and then you have to find ways to get Garrett the ball. And when you do, good things happen.
Were you impressed by the Dolphins?
No. I wasn't impressed by the Dolphins because I knew it was going to happen. Like, what I was more impressed with the Panthers going up 14-0 than the Dolphins coming back and beating them by 1 billion.
So what that game was the Dolphins were kind of just sitting la 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 la, and then the Panthers went up 14-0, and it's like it's like the Dolphins went, oh, let me sit up because y'all are really trying to win. And then they promptly blew them out after that. So
there's nothing shocking about it. The Dolphins did what the Dolphins do. They score a lot of points. They run it up on bad teams, and you keep it moving. So,
but I just
they're a great offense. They are a great offense.
I just wanted to know if you would give them credit because they were down 14. They were down 2 touchdowns, and
but they're a team that averages like 30 a game. I'm not worried about them going down 14.
Promptly came back. Well, their defense said, all right, stop.
Yeah, but the defense also stinks. So it's like,
and their defense went, all right, stop.
Yeah, because you face the worst team in football. Like they should not have gone up 14-0. The defense had to wake up to do so. Like the Dolphins had no business being down 14-0. No business. Like as not good as that Dolphins defense, I think that Dolphins defense is, they're not that bad to where they are down 14 to the worst team in football. They're not that bad. So they promptly were like, oh shit. McDaniel, you want to call some of those plays you do that are like really cool? Okay, cool. Tyreek Hill, here's a fucking 45-yard touchdown. Go grab that guy's phone, take a backflip, and get a penalty.
It's hilarious.
Like that Dolphins offense is incredible. Coming down back from 14-0 is not impressive when you put up 30-something a game. If they were down like 27 and came back, I would be like, oh shit. All right. This team's awesome. But like, I still think this Dolphins team's awesome. It's just, I'm not going to be impressed by anybody beating the Panthers. You're supposed to. I'd be more impressed by the Panthers beating the team. Like, if the Panthers beat the Titans, I'm laughing at you.
Literally, my next question to you. I mean, it's early, but do you see them getting a win? Or is it too early for that?
I don't know. I really
I have-
don't know. They just changed
I-
who's gonna be
I
calling
have their
plays for
schedule.
them.
I have the schedule in front of me. They're gonna get a win.
I
They're
think they're
gonna-
going to. I just have to see
they-
who.
Their next 3 games is home for Houston, home for the Colts, at Chicago.
I don't know if they beat. If Justin Fields doesn't play against Chicago, they don't beat Chicago.
They got to get one of those 3. They got to get one of them 3. Because if they don't, then they got Dallas, Tennessee.
They might get you guys.
Tampa, New Orleans, Atlanta.
They might get one against you guys if they don't get one against the Colts.
Green Bay, Jacksonville, Tampa.
If Justin Fields is playing against the Panthers aren't winning. If it's the son of the former world champion arm wrestler that was playing, then they absolutely will beat that team. But right now, if that's healthy, I only see maybe 2 wins. But again, if you guys run the football, you'll beat them. It's all on which version of your offensive coordinator is taking over. Whereas the Colts, who knows? Because Gardner Minshew, when he played against the Jaguars, was like, y'all remember when y'all got rid of me? And tried to throw the ball over the mountains like Uncle Rico, and he just kept giving it back to them. But then there's some games where Gardner Minshew is unbelievable, and he's fantastic. So, like, who knows what version of Gardner Minshew you're going to get? And if they run the football, they'll be fantastic. They'll be fine. So I don't know. I think you could have potentially 2, but have they played the Falcons at all yet, or just once?
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah.
have. What was the score? Oh, it was 20. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. No, they're not beating the Falcons. Yeah, just 2 potential. If they lose that Colts game, though, I may say they're going defeated, and they don't have their draft pick. Then they give the Bears the first pick regardless. And then the Bears are in a conundrum where it's like, all right, I know Fields kind of had a decent year here, but Caleb's right there. So
the Bears are going to be it's almost going to be like a case study to see what the Bears do.
Would you blame the Bears if they moved on?
No, because it's a new regime and
none of these guys picked him.
And the more I watch, the more it looks like they're the idiots and it's not Justin, because Justin just keeps showing these flashes of, oh yeah, he's actually pretty good. And then you see the Bears do stupid stuff and it's like, why are they doing stupid stuff? Could it be because their coach is an idiot?
Yeah, Matt Eberflus dumb.
Could be.
Matt Eberflus is very stupid.
I know I've been called the Justin Fields apologist on this show, but
you are absolutely a Justin Fields apologist. But
coach could be an idiot.
He also really has only played really good against some bad football teams.
Yes, I will not. He has played bad. He has not had a good year.
Yeah, I would like to.
He also has not been helped by them receivers, but he has not.
Well, once they realize that, hey, DJ Moore's on the team, and they start throwing him the football, it works.
Amazing what happens, right?
When you get your guys the ball, good things happen, right?
Also, I just want to point out that they have looked amazing since Chase Claypool got up out of there.
Chase Claypool still hasn't made his Dolphins debut.
Sure.
They're talking about using him as a tight end.
Cancer.
My favorite thing about the Dolphins getting Chase Claypool is Mike. I love Mike McDaniel, by the way. I think Mike McDaniel is absolutely hilarious because he's also like a football dork.
He's a dork. He's
exactly a dork, but I love dorks. I was just telling my boss about this. I love people who are dorks because I'm somebody who gets along with everybody. I have my hands in all different pots. Like, I can talk the dork stuff, but I also love making fun of dorks because I'm like the alpha dork because I'm also a dork.
The alpha.
I'm the alpha dork because I'm also a dork, but I also love sports and the gym and lifting weights and da-da-da. But I also love fucking anime and Gundam and all that fucking shit. Like, I could talk that talk. So I enjoy Mike McDaniel. So when he goes to the podium and they're like, "Oh, what do you think about Chase Claypool?" He's like, "All right, fine. I guess he's fast." Because he loves all they talk about is like, I love that my guys are fast. And that's all he talks about is how fast his team is. So it's like, all right, I guess he's fast. I'll say it. So I enjoy that. And so that's why it's like, I'm supposed to hate the Dolphins a lot,
You are.
but I enjoy Mike McDaniel. And I can recognize when a team's good. It's not like me being right about the Patriots this whole fucking time, which I will rub in everybody's face every chance I get. Also, shout out to me. Told y'all Jimmy G would be hurt by week 6.
Wish an injury on that man.
Nope, just predicting. And being right.
I'm starting to wonder if you are the reason that the Jets can't get out of a game without a major injury.
No, that's
Wishing
not me.
injury on
That's definitely Roz. I didn't wish injury on Jimmy. I said I think this is going to happen because it happens every year. So predicting injury based off of him getting hurt all the time is not really wishing injury. Saying I'm glad a guy got hurt. and then I said, listen, and then he called it. He's like, the second we have an injury, you're going to blame me and tell me it's my fault, but that's fine. Lost our best offensive lineman with a torn Achilles.
Boom.
Promptly blamed him.
Wanted it, you got it.
Promptly blamed him because sports karma is a real thing.
I believe it's a real thing also.
Sports karma. That's why I've spent a lot of time not wishing injury on players because it's going to bite me in the ass.
That's
Except for Tom Brady.
I can't wait, Sid. And I'm talking to you from the Las Vegas Aces. Can't wait. Can't wait. Her post-game speech irritated me.
So maybe the Panthers get a game.
They might get 1 or 2.
They might get 1 or 2. If they lose that Colts game, I don't think they're winning anything. So
They gotta win that game.
they have to because
They have to win that game.
it's going to be fucking hard going forward.
It's gotta win that game. Because they might catch us in a situation where it's a desperation, like, the
Trap
season
game.
on the line. No, but a season on the line game where Tennessee's just going to throw everything because we have to get a win. So, I mean, yeah, they could beat us, or they could be the straw that breaks the camel back. But what if that's the game we use to try and get some momentum? Like, they have to beat the Colts. They have to beat that Colts team. They really, really need to beat Houston. It's the Bears that they need to beat, but
It depends on what version of the Bears they get. It depends on how serious of an injury Justin Fields has on his thumb.
Yeah.
But again, if you play the son of the world champion arm wrestler, he gonna lose.
Gotta get that game.
That was my favorite fact of the weekend, by the way. That the backup quarterback for the Bears, his dad is a world champion arm wrestler. And then when he threw an interception, they said, "Man, his dad's never gonna let him live that down." I was like, all right, that's good. That's good commentating. We love that. That and Mark Sanchez saying Jalen Hurts is as slippery as a salmon covered in Vaseline. Off the fly. Like in stride. He's like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's so strong. They couldn't get him down if they wanted to. He's as slippery as a salmon covered in Vaseline. I'm just like, you thought of that right then and there?
Jet legend.
Jet legend, Philadelphia Eagle legend, Washington Commander legend, Dallas Cowboy legend. You thought Mark Sanchez only played for the Jets?
I have no recollection of him playing for the Cowboys at all.
He played a game for the Cowboys on Monday Night Football.
At all.
5 years ago. Yeah. The Sanchez.
What was that triangle box game that we played? That's one right there, because I would not have guessed Mark Sanchez playing for the Cowboys. That would have been a low percenter right
low
there.
Percentage, yep. Players that played for the Cowboys and the Jets, Mark Sanchez.
Bing.
Yeah, he played for practically the whole NFC East except for the Giants.
shocking because he's white and Giants love white.
He's
quarterbacks.
Mexican.
Oh, that's why he didn't get a chance. That's why he didn't get a chance. See how you walked into that? See how you walked
Do not call
into
my
that.
Latino brother white.
Bang, bang, bang.
Not call-
Shit like that.
You're not gonna do that. Mark the only thing that made it better that Mark Sanchez was Jets quarterback was Mark Sanchez was a Spanish quarterback. That had me like all in. Like, there's not many of me in the league, and at that time it was Mark Sanchez and Tony Gonzalez. That was it. So I got a lot of love for Mark Sanchez. Besides the fact that I rooted for the college that he played for too, and called him being a Jet, like while Mark Sanchez was at USC. So,
oh, you're a USC fan? Oh,
I am. I've been
that
a USC fan
explains
for a long time.
The Caleb 12. Although he's really
I like Caleb, but I have my issues with Caleb because I don't know how to view Caleb as a quarterback because I really only see him play backyard football. Because the USC offensive line hasn't been good since Reggie Bush was running the football. So I was like, I didn't know. I still don't really know. But I know he's fucking wild talented and he just plays football like he's Patrick Mahomes.
If he gets the right coach, he could be a problem in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. The problem is he's going to get drafted by a shit show. That's usually how it goes. and then he's going to be wasted. All right. What do we got next?
Let's talk. I just do not want to talk about the WNBA. I'm just disgusted. Dylan got me and Dylan before this recording. We're sitting here locked into this Liberty Aces game. Dylan got to see in real time that I am not all talk when I say that I live and die by the Liberty. And I am not Fat Joe who barely knows 3 players on the team. I root for the Liberty like I root for the Knicks and the Yankees, and Dylan saw me go through all the emotions, stressed. I had to walk away after the hit loss. I had to walk away because I was so angry and so heartbroken. But you see the unbelievable scene at Barclays tonight, and
Eat a dick, Mike Wilbon. Saying there's no home court advantage in New York or in Barclays.
The arena's empty. Empty where?
Looks to me like this is a full house. Full house. Nick Wright used to do the same thing with the Nets in the playoff games. You would take pictures before people were coming in, and then the Barclays was filled. So I was like, all right, man, shut up.
He ran out to a 10-point lead. Aces promptly came back. As I was telling Dylan, Brianna Stewart literally had her worst game of her career. 3 for 17. Vandersloot airballed the game-winning 3 at the buzzer. A'ja Wilson just balled out, did everything. Just me and Dylan were sitting here watching. She's cooking Jacquel Jones, and it is a tough watch on this end. She is just cooking her. And the Aces have that grit. They got that dog in them. And they, like I said, Stewie played a terrible game, and Aces go back to back. So we will get to see A'ja Wilson drunk again. I'm sure her and Kelsey Plum will be all over Twitter tonight. Drunk, acting a fool. They'll be drunk at the parade. And the Aces win the battle of the super teams, and they go back to back for the first time in the WNBA in 20 years. 20 years.
Oh, well. We'll be back next year.
We'll be back next year, but it's listen, next year's going to get even harder because Angel Reese is coming.
She ain't coming.
You don't think she's going to stay?
Why would she leave?
Why would she? When she's getting
She's
more money
making more
now.
money in NIL playing in LSU than she will in any contract she'll get in the WNBA. She's
Right,
in
son.
no rush to leave.
Neither is Caitlin
They're making millions. Caitlin Clark,
Clark. Couldn't think of her last name.
they're making millions. Why? Why leave?
The key, as Becky Hammond said in her post-game speech, which was outstanding, you have to get better owners that care. You get owners that care, the product will get better because these girls, all of these girls are good. They just need the resources.
And
So
it figures the teams that are here and are good have the best owners in the WNBA. Joe Tsai has been trying to fight for this stuff for years.
he's probably the best owner in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Mark Davis is just
The
a guy with
idiot.
a lot of money that kind of stumbled into this.
Dork. Vegas culture.
But another banner for Vegas, not for the Raiders.
Not for the Raiders. And
Another
the Raiders
banner.
won't be getting one this year either. Because, Anthony's quarterback leads the NFL in interceptions and hospital balls.
And did you see? I saw on the scroll that Adams is barking for more targets. It begins.
Didn't I say this was going to happen before the season started?
He also is one of the people doing. I saw that maybe getting traded. So take that.
Well,
with a
yeah,
grain of
he
salt.
doesn't want to be there.
But we
If
didn't
Rodgers
have-
was playing, I was going to I would have been all in, yeah, the Jets are going to go get him. I don't think the Jets are going to go get him. I think the Jets do get a receiver because we miss Corey Davis very much. And he's not going to come out of retirement. But he would have been a great third option, a great third wide receiver. But, he retired. And I think we're calling Denver.
heard those whispers, and
Not for
I
Judy
will
either,
not for Judy.
for Sutton.
That doesn't move the needle to me. No.
Sutton's the only one of those receivers who's actually produced in the NFL. I would love to get
He's-
Judy because he's on a good contract. But
Sutton
Sutton
is
as a big body who has sure hands, I would take
He's
it.
he's not better than Lazard though.
I think you're a little crazy. Lazard's really not that good. He's an Aaron Rodgers guy. It's the only reason he's here is because he's an Aaron Rodgers guy.
Well, that is a fact. The only reason he got that contract,
Because he's the Aaron Rodgers guy. The reason why I say Courtland Sutton is because Courtland Sutton also was the only wide receiver that produced under a Nathaniel Hackett offense in Denver. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, hey, take this expiring contract in Carl Lawson and a fourth. And we'll take Courtland Sutton or Judy, whoever one of those. Because we already got rid of McCole Hardman, did right by him because that was an Aaron Rodgers move as well. But no Rodgers on a 4-year deal, a $4 million 1-year deal. Go, Pat. They need you over there.
For someone who can't even sniff the field.
I think the important thing is that the undrafted guy, Xavier Gibson, that we have, has earned every bit of his playing time, which is crazy to me.
Took his job.
Flat out took his job.
Took his job.
And that's why it's Salah, when they asked Salah about Hardman, they're like, oh, can we talk about Hardman not really seeing the field? He was like, I think the real thing we need to talk about is how Xavier Gibson has been awesome. You can put it that way. I'm going to put it this way because Xavier Gibson has been great. So it's okay, cool. Do your thing. I'm not mad at it. That's a good story.
It's a good story.
It's a good story. Good for him. And then you do right by McCole Hardman and you send him back to a place where he produces and is going to get used because they need that help.
They need him. They definitely need him.
I likes him. So good on him. But there's gonna be a lot of. I really think there's going to be a snowball of a lot of moves because the Jets are also probably going to move on from Dalvin Cook. Because remember when I was telling you before we signed Dalvin Cook, I was like, all these advanced numbers show that he's bad at football. But I was like, but yet those numbers like say otherwise. But all the yards after contact and all those like numbers are terrible, and I'm seeing it in real time.
And it's also exactly what I said was going to happen, just a little bit quicker. I said, well, he wasn't good because I said Cook is going to be good in the beginning of the year. And then once Brees gets his feet under him, Cook's never going to see the field. He's not going to play. And
If Cook produced,
so,
you would see a little bit more of him.
to my surprise, Brees was ready week 1. Week 1, he was like, no, hold my beer. I'm ready right now.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
I'm ready right now. And because of it, Cook can't get in a rhythm. He's one of those guys that he has to get 15 to 20 runs.
But he also doesn't see holes and he gets tackled by a corner. So, like those are the things where it's like that's infuriating.
My point, he's one of those guys, he's a got to get the engine warm kind of guy. He's got to get the ball, get in the rhythm, keep going, and then he wears you down, and then you look up and he's great by the end of the game, but he can't do that. He's not a good split back kind of guy. He has to be the bell cow. That's what's happening.
I don't know, but that's my problem where it's like Brees, when Brees sees every hole and he makes an explosive move and he gets more yards. And if he's breaking an arm tackle, Dalvin doesn't break arm tackles. Dalvin just goes down.
They also put Dalvin in situations where like he doesn't get space.
Dalvin also runs the ball on 2nd and 4.
They use him as a battering ram.
No, they've tried to get him the ball outside too. Like
every time I see him, they use him as a battering ram. Brees gets all the screens and the drops and in space. Brees gets all of that, and Dalvin gets the crumbs.
No.
Crumbs.
No, I've seen them try to use Dalvin in the pass game. I've seen them try to use Dalvin on outside runs, and he just
3rd and 2. Dalvin, get in there and try and get that.
No, I've seen him get it on 1st and 10, like in 2nd and 7, and he just gets nothing, and it's just infuriating. It's just like, why are you taking Brees Hall out?
You're putting him in HB dive, go get 20 yards. HB dive, go get 20 yards.
He does that, but he does that, or he has done that. I just don't like that. Like he doesn't break arm tackles.
Who's trading for him?
He's only making $8 million, and we'll eat that. So there's gonna be somebody who's gonna want him, especially if they're trying to offload somebody.
My hypothetical engine: if you're Dallas, would you take a run at that?
Yeah.
Pollard quiet.
Pollard misses Zeke.
I was gonna say quiet as a kept. Pollard I don't want to say trash. Trash might be a little.
Pollard's not a good number 1 running back.
But he is not it. They ran Zeke out of there, and he is not it. Now, who knows how much Zeke has left in the tank? Because Bill O'Brien just is allergic to running the ball. So I don't know how much is left in Zeke's tank because New England literally has a top 10 running back that they never give the ball. So Zeke is definitely not getting the ball. So
I think Zeke's going to be the starting running back in like 3 weeks because he runs better out of shotgun. And that's all they're running out of. They don't run behind center anymore. Like they don't do any of that. All the runs are inside zones and zone reads. They don't do what Ramondre's good at. They do what Zeke used to be good at and can give you some chunks every once in a while. But Zeke isn't like that anymore. So I don't know why you're alienating your best offensive player in Ramondre Stevenson.
Offensive player. Literally your best offensive player. It's mind-boggling.
Get your guys the ball. Bill Belichick can be out of there. Bill Belichick's about to bounce. When do we start viewing Belichick's like non-Brady years as like bad?
I don't know because we don't. I mean, we don't do that to Pop. We don't look at the non-Tim Duncan years and say anything. But Pop is not. What has Pop done since Tim Duncan left? He made the playoffs once, twice.
I think it's a little bit different because
why? Pop is also I mean, he's not the
Pop was
official
good
general
without
manager.
Tim. Remember,
Was
they
he?
only got Tim because
Was he
what's his face got hurt. That's the only reason they got Tim, because David Robinson got hurt.
about to get fired? And then they got Tim.
Pop
and
hired
they-
himself. Pop hired himself.
They were not good, and then they got Tim Duncan, and then they got really good. Yes, Tim Duncan.
They were
Duncan.
perpetual playoff teams. They were a playoff team for consecutive years, and then they got hurt. And then Robinson got hurt, and then Tim Duncan fell in their lap.
I don't believe you. Maybe you're right, but I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure Pop was not good before got to 1994. Pop returned to San Antonio as general manager.
He was an assistant coach. He never had less than 50 wins as a coach. Oh no, I'm sorry. I was looking at those are games. Those are games.
What? The Spurs started 3-15 in '96 when David Robinson had a back injury.
Mm-hmm.
Pop, as the GM, fired Bob Hill and named himself the coach. So in '96, he named himself the coach.
With homeboy hurt.
He finished the season
17-47.
And then Tim Duncan.
I thought he coached without Tim Duncan for a little bit.
When did Timmy leave?
When did Tim leave? Because they still made the playoffs without Tim.
I said they've made the playoffs a couple times, but I think they've maybe gotten out the first round once since Tim left.
My point is, when do we give Brady more credit than we give Bill?
I've always given Brady more credit.
Because we know what Bill is without him. We've seen Bill coach before Brady.
And we've seen Bill
coach after
Brady. And it's very similar.
And it's the same. It's the same. That's more so my point. Is we have a time frame where Bill as a coordinator, arguably the greatest defensive player of all time, in Lawrence Taylor.
That helped when you got that guy back there.
And then you see him outside of that. Yeah, he gets that playoff appearance in Cleveland, but really not that good. He's supposed to coach the Jets. Quit.
He quit. No, I'm not.
Goes to New England
because he did.
And Mo Lewis started the Brady era. So, like, Mo Lewis, the New York Jets, started the Tom Brady era.
Because he was on the hot seat then, wasn't he?
But, you know, you have 20 years of Tom Brady, and it's like, okay. But then you watch Tom Brady leave and win, and it's like, okay, well, maybe it is this guy. Nothing more would make me happier than Bill Belichick leaving the Patriots in a complete state of disarray.
Now, would you rather him get fired or just walk away?
He won't get fired. He'll walk away. Kraft won't fire him. Kraft will say you're fired, but I will say you walked away.
Will he strongly suggest?
They will mutually part ways. An amicable breakup is what will happen here. An amicable breakup. Fuck the Patriots. It couldn't have happened to a better team. I hope they win like 6 games so they don't get a top quarterback.
I also hope that.
And then I hope they get Bill O'Brien as their head coach.
That no, they actually deserve Josh McDaniels. That's what they deserve.
Bill O'Brien's just as bad. Look who's awake. All right, what do we got next?
James Harden, no show. Is this the beginning of the end?
I don't know. Let's talk to Joel Embiid.
We obviously got the news that James wasn't here today. Just how does that impact you? Impact you, like just moving forward as a team? Just how do you sort of compartmentalize and moving forward?
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do. I'm not sure. But we had a good practice. We competed, went up and down a little bit. It's great for me. I'm still, coming back. I'm feeling myself. But I thought, today was great.
Who knows? Maybe he had something to do. Maybe this is the start of your background in Philly. The whole facility being on fire. Because apparently, according to Nick Wright, the latest trade that was offered by Philly was you guys get James Harden, we get a first, we do a pick swap, and we get Trey Mann. And the Clippers were like, no, he's not untouchable. So Daryl Morey responded with, well, since you don't want to get rid of nobody, then give me Paul George. And then the Clippers GM was like, LOL, no.
No. Absolutely not.
You're going to take Norman Powell. You're going to take this guy, and you're going to take a second-round pick.
And be happy about it.
You're going to like it. Clippers are playing hardball because I feel like James Harden's got one of them bullets in the chamber where it's like he's ready to just shoot up the place one time and just fire it off and just set the world ablaze.
Still haven't. Also, how convenient. Still not really talking to the media.
Nope. I don't think he's allowed to. I think they're.
You said that before. You don't think that?
I don't think they're letting him, and I think that's one of the reasons he's not showing up.
That was the point that I was getting to. It could be because maybe Philly told him you don't have to come because you're not going to come and start some shit.
But you would think he would go and just do it on his own.
Unless his key card didn't work.
The Jamal Adams meme. I guess I got cut.
Do not come to work today. You will not be allowed in the building.
Who knows? But this is getting exactly where we wanted it to get. Because as much as James was trying to defend him, I watched that man quit on live TV in Sacramento. I watched that man just give up and not play basketball. I watched it happen. He's more than capable of scorching earth.
Very much so.
He already told a bunch of kids in China who didn't know what the hell he was saying that he would never play for Daryl Morey's team ever again. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
So opening night is going to happen before we get to do our NBA preview, but it's okay because it's just 2 games. So that next week, but other than that, I don't have anything else for the NBA. Except for Porter getting waived.
Yeah, the Thunder trading for Porter to get rid of Victor Oladipo's contract and somebody else's contract. They got a draft pick, and they're like, "All right, see ya. You don't even bother reporting. You're not going to be on our team. See you later."
You're not going to get
him doing that thing where he's just like, "I found another opportunity to get more draft picks."
No more draft picks. You're not going to get an employee card. You won't get a welcome to the friend. No, you just don't.
We hate you. Actually,
Just
we
don't
think you're a
even
bad
bother.
human. So good for them. Good for them. Sam Presti, that superstar trade to Oklahoma is going to hit like fucking a ton of bricks. Because it's coming. All the assets they have, they're building for that.
So who is going to be the superstar?
Who it is, who knows? But they have to be a major player in everything, right?
So the only real concern is, will they be able to?
What if like when Embiid becomes available, inevitably, you have to look at them.
You do. I don't know if you'd want to. I would have said the Embiid that left Kansas would have been all for that. He's been in a major market for too long now. I don't think he's a major market player now. He has to go to one of the big teams. Like, I can't see him going, and it's no disrespect, but I'm just mean like he has to go to a major media market. I can't see him going to Oklahoma City. He's got to go to a Lakers, a Miami, a Boston.
If you have a chance to play with Shai and Dort and have great rotational guys, and like you lose Chet Holmgren and one of these Jalen Williams and all these guys and a bunch of draft capital. If you're Philly, you can't say no.
You can't say no, but for
because
Oklahoma
I
City,
think they
are
can
you
provide
doing
you the best like young assets and most assets.
But if you're Oklahoma City, you have to convince Embiid to want to come there. Because yeah, they could just force the trade and trade him, and then he's under contract. But then what's stopping him from doing what James Harden's doing, or what Dame did, which is like, you could trade me there. I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to play. You can do what you want, but
what Dame did was bad business.
But what's to stop Embiid from doing that?
I mean, what has Oklahoma City done to make him want to do that?
I don't think that's the market that he would want to go to. That's what I'm saying. I don't think.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing. But like, if you look at the front office is consistent. It's one of the best front offices in basketball. The staff is good. You have one of the best players in basketball on your team right there too, who plays both ways.
Going to talk about that next week. Hot take, but we'll get to that next week.
But yeah, but he's, regardless whether he's top 10 or not, he's still one of the premier players in basketball. Like, he's better than anybody that's on your team now. Yeah, because he's better than Harden, he's better than Tobias, he's better than Tyrese Maxey. You can put he's better than all of them. Like, Shai is the guy. That'll be the best player you're going to play with. You'll be in a great system. It's there, but again, you have to woo him on Oklahoma City. But he's from Cameroon. Who fucking cares?
I would have agreed with you before he's lived in Philadelphia for 7 years.
Yeah, no, that's where it's tough. Where it's like the small market team that has the assets to do it, you have to fucking convince them it's a cool place. That's where basketball sucks sometimes. That and this fucking tournament. This fucking in-season tournament's not gonna fucking matter.
Oh, someone else on the mic train because. Well, no, let me stop because I told James that I would be open-minded, and
I'm open-minded about it. Like, I think it's gonna be fun, but who's gonna fucking care? Like, the people who cover the sport and the people who determine outcomes of people's and create narratives for people's careers, right? People have already stated that it's championship or it doesn't matter. That's the stance that basketball fans have taken. It's NBA title or it doesn't matter. So what's gonna matter if, oh man, he won the Commissioner's Cup?
You think the Liberty care that they won the Commissioner's Cup?
Nope.
You think I care that the Liberty won the Commissioner's Cup?
Nope.
Means nothing.
So like, what happens if like, I don't know, for shits and giggles, the Clippers won the Commissioner's Cup. That's almost going to be more like a joke than anything, because we're going to hang the banner for the Commissioner's Cup. That's what you're hanging your banner on?
If the Liberty hang a banner for the Commissioner's Cup, I'm going to be furious.
So,
Get
like,
that shit down.
this would have been cool if this was done 40 years ago, where you're establishing this tournament before people are really covering and making championships being the end all be all of people's legacies. And like you made it a tradition where this matters, just like you do like in soccer and in Europe, where it's like, oh, these tournaments matter. Like these are big deals. This tournament's not gonna. Who's really gonna fucking care?
Because it's a money grab. It's literally a television show. That's what it is.
It's a money grab, and it's like the Western Conference Finals MVP. Like who fucking cares? Who fucking cares?
I mean, you know what, Dylan? That has more prestige to me than this tournament, though, because there usually is an MVP when you get to the Final Four. Like there's an NLCS MVP, there's an ALCS MVP. There isn't a conference championship MVP in the NFL, but we all know, the best player, the MVP of the game usually is the first one that's interviewed, raises the trophy. Like,
I'd rather there be I've been barking up this
tournament.
This
tournament means nothing.
I'd rather there be an all playoff team than the finals MVP, like the Western Conference Finals MVP. But this tournament's having an all tournament team. Why would I fucking care? Why do I care? Why are these teams going to care? There's no real win. Like, what does this tournament do? Like, the games aren't separate. The games are just the games that are on your schedule.
And then you get like a week off. And that's it.
And then you don't even play, like, the tournament's played in Vegas.
Because everything.
Like, the finals is played in Vegas. You're not even playing in front of your home crowd to win this thing. So the fans there aren't going to fucking care.
TV show, Dylan. It's a TV show.
Like, I think it's a cool idea and concept. This should be something that's done outside of the season. Like, if you're going to do something like this, do this outside of the season. Then,
you hate
like,
the
people
All-Star.
care.
You hate the All-Star game so much. Then do this Saturday All-Star game. They get a week off anyway. Run a week-long tournament.
I just don't get it. I don't know how to be excited for it.
I'm not.
Because they're just the regular season. I'm going to watch regular season basketball regardless. So who gives a fuck if you put a trophy in the middle of it? Like, this is still one of the 82 games. Dumb.
Incredibly dumb.
Again, if you're going to do a tournament, do it outside of the season. Do it in the spring. Or do it in, like, the summer. Where there's, like, the lull. The dog days of summer where it's just, like, baseball on. Do a random fucking week of... Hey, here's a Sweet 16. Here's a Sweet 16 for the fucking Commissioner's Cup. And then that team gets momentum going into the season because they won. And that's cool, I guess. Because you really only have baseball on. Mid-season means nothing. James is going to be real excited. Oh, wow, this team won the Commissioner's Cup. Cool, what does that do?
Okay, Anthony's going to overrate it.
I don't know. Anthony was shitting on regular season basketball last year. Until the Knicks started winning. And then he would just criticize the Knicks and be like, Mike, the Knicks are losing again. So who knows? But Commissioner's Cup, who fucking cares? So stupid. What's next?
What's next? I guess Fight Club. Fight
Club. Soy Fight Club. Soy Fight Club. We are here.
Big fight weekend. 2 last minute replacements that have made this card very, very good.
Yeah, because Paul Costa apparently got like a staph infection in his elbow.
Yeah,
And
so
it's
did you
nasty.
see it? Did you see it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
nasty.
nasty. It's nasty. It's
And then
nasty.
Charles Oliveira took a fucking elbow to the fucking eyebrow and split his ass open.
And people were saying he was running from the fight, and it was just like, if you saw that cut, how do you expect that man to fight?
That man got
You could
butchered.
literally go like this to the cut, explode, blood everywhere. Like,
So all
But-
I will say is this is just an all Russian card.
yeah,
It's literally just an all Russian card, and it's horrifying because it's
they
to be
could
wrestling
sweep.
bears.
They could sweep. They really realistically could sweep, Dylan.
I'm gonna tell you a secret here. I don't think I'm not picking a non-Russian person.
They could sweep. They could sweep. They could sweep. They
Because
absolutely
I'll tell you
could
right,
sweep.
Khabib's gonna be in the corner of like 3 of these guys.
It is going to be a tough watch. So watch these.
So like I'm probably Said Nurmagomedov. I'm picking him.
He's
Picking
winning.
him.
I don't think we're going to disagree on anything here.
Ikram Aliskerov. Picking him.
He's not losing.
Magomed
This-
Ankalaev.
This one maybe because Johnny's crazy and he might
Johnny's a
land
nut
something.
job.
He might land something crazy. But if that man can get out the first round, he's going to beat him.
Yes.
If he gets Johnny out the first round, he's going to win. So
These fights here, the co-main and the main,
so intriguing.
I have zero idea.
So intriguing.
I'm leaning going Hamzat here because Kamaru's looked terrible in his last couple fights.
Terrible strong, but I hear you.
I'm probably going Hamzat here just because he's also the boogeyman.
I'm just going with him because he's bigger. Than
Russian.
No, he's bigger. He's bigger than Usman. Like he's still. I was telling my brother this. He's a bully. He's been fighting guys smaller than him,
and
even though they're going to be the same weight, like he's still bigger than Usman. Like he literally can still do the exact same thing to him. So, which is why I wanted to see him fight Costa because he shouldn't be able to do that to him.
Yeah, but Costa's a pussy.
He is.
Costa's a big pussy.
Usman is not. Usman is not. So
something about the Russian wrestling, man. Those guys.
Usman's very skilled, though.
He's very skilled, but again, the last
Very
few fights
skilled.
I've seen of his is just like maybe this is the time in the middleweight guys title reign where he starts to get washed a little bit.
Could be. And it sucks because I think Usman would beat Sean Strickland. It's crazy. I don't think he can win this fight. I think he would beat Strickland. I that Philly shell. Usman's gonna punch him back.
Yeah, but Usman's also not good.
A good
at striking.
striker. He's not a good striker. But
Whereas
I don't
Strickland
know.
is deceptively good at striking. Because when I watched Strickland fight, I really still don't really think he's that good. I
don't
still
think
really
he's
don't
that
think
good
he's
either.
that good. But he's deceptively good. And I think Izzy's game plan was dog shit. Izzy was scared the whole fight. That's why he's
Well,
taking a fucking break.
When Izzy got punched in the face, he stopped.
Izzy lost that dog. Izzy got success and lost the dog that was in him. Because Izzy used to be so game to fight dudes and stand in the circle and bang. And like now he's just running. He gets on his bike and just rides away.
The point fighter now. The only person that he didn't point fight was Pereira, and that's because that was a blood feud.
He had to. He had to. He
That was
had
a
to
blood
do
feud.
something. So we're both going Hamzat.
Sadly, yes.
I want to preface this one by saying that Volkanovski's a bad man. Taking this fight on 10 days' notice makes him a psychopath.
Yes,
but he wants this back in blood.
does.
So I want to pick Volk just because I'm rooting for him. My mind says take Islam. My heart says take Volk.
So who wins?
We're going with the Aussie. We're going with Volkanovski. Avenge the loss. Give him that belt. Champ. Double champ.
I also am in the same position as you. Heart and a little piece of my mind thinks Volk. I thought he outfought him the first time. I don't like him taking this fight on 12 days' notice.
Nope. But there's a part of me that's like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Part of me is like, this is awesome.
If he had a full training camp, I would take Volk in this fight. I do not think, and I'm not trying to say he's not in shape or not. He's going to run out of gas. He's going to run out of gas.
He had to cut 26 pounds.
All Islam's going to do is try to wrestle, and wear him out. As much as I want to pick Volk, like I said, if he had a full training camp, I would pick Volk. He does not, so
I'm hoping for a miracle.
I am too. I will gladly be wrong, but I am picking a Russian sweep. They will not lose a fight.
Do you think if the Russian sweep happens, Putin comes and challenges somebody to
Biden, you get in this ring right now.
I will break you.
I don't. What's the Ukraine's leader's name? That's get in here and we settle this like men.
We fight for Dana White in the octagon in Abu Dhabi. You fly to the United Arab Emirates and we fight on Fight Island.
Oh man.
I love that. We just booked. He just booked the WrestleMania main event.
We just booked a WrestleMania match. Yes, we did. WrestleMania match. I will tell you this. I am not confident enough to bet you Gatorade on this card. I will tell you that.
I also want nothing to do with this card and a Gatorade bet. I also want nothing to do with this card and a Gatorade bet. My mind says this is going to be a boring fight card.
It could be.
Because all these guys are going to do is just bear hug on the floor. That's all these guys are going to do.
That's what they want to do.
Bear hug on the floor. So I have no idea. The only one, I don't even know if he's still on the UFC roster. Magomed Meresharipov, for what the fuck his name is. He's the one of these like Dagestani guys who actually like throws like spinning wheel kicks and shit. So he's not on this card. So
No.
and he also may be incredibly wrong about him still being on a UFC roster. Because I feel like he would be on this card.
Oh, unless he's hurt.
Nope, just more Russian guys. Shit, yeah, more Russian guys. Just this whole card's about fucking Russian guys. So good one, Dana. Good one, Dana.
Good job. Don't show your hand. Don't show your hand too much, Dana.
Who's UFC in the 295? Oh, that's Jones Miocic. All right, cool. So we got a shitty little card here before we get the big one.
Hopefully something catastrophe won't happen. Maybe we can get together for that one. We can finally do a live cast. Finally, that would
Soy Fight Club.
Finally be great.
Soy Fight Club.
I don't know what time that pay-per-view is going to end. I don't think we can do Soy Fight Club this weekend.
No. I'm probably not going to be up for it this weekend.
Oh yeah,
but if we plan 295, we do a Soy Fight Club watch along for the main card, and then go right into post fight.
Could happen.
We just
Could
gotta
happen.
set our clocks and stay awake.
And stay awake. That's the problem. Stay awake. Drink a Red Bull or something.
Oh, and that's gonna have Yuri Prohaska versus Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight. That's gonna be a good card. That's gonna be a good card, Mike.
Does Pereira win and then challenge John Jones?
Yeah, right. So John Jones could beat the ever living dog shit out of him.
I can fight you at heavyweight. I walk around at 250.
All John would do is just trip him and just get his back. Look over there. Sweep the leg.
Sweet.
Sweep the leg.
Oh.
Rear naked choke. It's all over.
Yeah, I don't think John was breaking a sweat.
Oh, Steph Curry hit a game winner on the Kings. Put him away again. God damn.
Yeah, man.
All right. Is that all we got?
I'm him.
I'm him. So let me go get the picture. I should have did this before. But him for this week. Where is this picture? I should have had this this planned a little bit beforehand. But
yeah, we do. I'm him every week. It's one of the one consistent things about this show. That and everyone being weighted.
You know, the reality is they're really good at it. I mean, it feels like the quarterback is wearing a bulletproof vest when you look at him. He's got all that padding on, but you know, whether they get it, we're going to do our best to try to stop it. And you know, the quarterback's got and they do a lot of stuff off it too. They got reverses, they got pop passes, they got stretch plays. They do a lot. So you got to be sound, you got to be disciplined. So we'll do our best in that regard. But if the quarterback carries the ball, we got to give him 11 kisses. Why?
Big Bob Saleh. Him. The first time I think I've given the head coach I'm him.
It is.
Because that guy deserves it. He's been through a lot of shit. A lot of shit has been thrown at him, and he's done his thing. And he doesn't get enough credit for what he's had to deal with. Because, again, the two best teams in football went down this week, both to backup quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Both to backup quarterbacks. And Zach's growth, even though it's not like a large step, it's still steps, and you still have to give the coaching staff credit. And the defense got better than it was last year. Now that the defense is creating turnovers, the defense is fucking horrifying. So kudos to Big Bob Saleh. Enjoy your bye week. Put in the work. Some PHW. That's his favorite supplement. You know what PHW stands for?
No.
Pure hard work, baby.
I knew it was going to be something corny. I knew it. I can't even. I'm deeply hurt. I'm
It's not him or her. It's Breanna Stewart. She is
Well,
not him or her.
So I'm trying to be a good sportsman, and I'm her to be Aja Wilson because she balled out. Chelsea got hurt, and she was just cooking today. There was nothing. She looked like the best player in the world still. So I guess I'm going to give it to her. If I had to give it, I'm him for a male athlete. Oh. That dude, Bryce Harper. What a week. They're never going to lose again.
The perfect Philly. The perfect Philadelphia Philly. He's a Philly scumbag just like the rest of them. And nobody deserves to have a player that represents the city more than Philadelphia because Bryce Harper is one of them.
He is it.
He is one of them, and he is nuclear right now. Didn't I pick the Phillies Astro in the World Series?
You did. And the Astros won.
And I said, going into it, I was like, something about Philly is giving off that same shit that happened last year. So, and you were like, you're not going to pick Philly. I'm like, I'm picking Philly. I'm picking them.
I thought it would be the Braves or the Phillies. I didn't know the Braves were going to turn into the Yankees and just not hit.
Philly's cooking.
But
Philly's cooking right now.
As we say, anybody but the Astros, it gets slimmer and slimmer.
I think if they face the Astros again, I think Philly's got them.
I think the Phillies want that smoke.
I think they do too.
And
they got the perfect Philly scumbag leading them.
I think they want that smoke. But yeah. So yeah, Bryce Harper, he's him because he's him, and he got a pack of dogs with him.
And they're ready this time. They are ready. They're here for the moments. They love the expectations. Give them it all. We're rooting for Philly.
I am rooting for Philly. What a time to be a Philly sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you follow us. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit the notification button. Anywhere that you get your podcast, we are there, both audio and visual. Join us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Twitch, YouTube. We are Spotify. We are on everything. Yeah, that's it. We'll be back. I suspect the gang will all be here next week for our NBA preview show.
Doubt it.
You're probably right, but the card subject to change, but they're all scheduled to be here. Anthony should be around. Oh, we didn't do Fantasy Focus. Anthony won again. His revenge tour continues.
What about you, Mike? What happened with you this week?
He's lucky. I lost.
Who'd you lose to?
I lost because my defense can't score any points.
Who'd you lose to? Who'd you lose to, Mike?
Does not matter.
Who'd you lose to, Michael? Come on. Say it for the people at home.
Dylan was victorious this week.
You're damn right Dylan was victorious this week. 153.74 to 121.74. Raheem Mostert. Drake London. We love it. I did get an early start with Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes. But it's all right. Kirk Cousins gave you nothing.
Nothing.
And George Kittle gave you 1 point.
Nothing. Just gave me nothing. So what can I do? Can't make it.
We win. Don't worry. Anthony's downfall will come, and it'll start with the first Miami Dolphins bye week is when he's going to lose, because his team gets carried by Tyreek Hill every week.
Can't wait. The downfall will be.
I would have beaten him this week if I played him. I would have beaten Anthony every week but 1 week, and it was the week I played him. That's ridiculous. Nothing pisses me off more than I would literally beat Anthony every week. But the 1 week I played him because I got hit with every injury known to man. Didn't have a fucking chance. Fuck Anthony. He gonna get his, and he gonna shut up real quick.
Join us next week for our basketball preview. Unless something crazy happens in the NFL, which something crazy always happens in the NFL. It'll be a basketball-only show next week, so Breezy will be here. Join us. Thank you. We love you guys for watching and listening. Good night.
Go Jets.